Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now. We're going to jump into a very interesting video coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Bleacher Report cited 3 major holes still left on the Eagles roster and some players to fix those holes, or at least solve those holes. We'll tell you who they are coming up in just a couple of minutes. First, though, we need your guys' help. Right now, according to the numbers, producer Trace pulled these up, and you see on your screen 56% of the guys who watch this channel, that's hopefully you, are subscribed. 43% are not subscribed, meaning there are thousands of people who are unsubscribed to our channel who enjoy our videos every single day. If you're one of those people, one of those, I guess, closet watchers of the channel, you don't want to subscribe, what are you doing? You love the channel, obviously. Go down below and subscribe. Help us grow this channel to as big as we possibly can get it. As I mentioned, coming up here in just a couple of seconds, the Bleacher Report Eagle roster holes we need to take a look at, see if they're even right on this. I've looked at it many times. I don't think there's a lot of roster holes right now currently on this Eagles roster. Actually, I think there's maybe one, maybe. And Bleacher Report says there are 3. All right, we'll figure it out in a second. First, though, all right, a shout-out. I always say we get shout-outs at the beginning of today's video. Eagles fan 130 says, IDK, how to get a shout-out? I typed Mott over 200 times. There you go. Well, asking you shall receive here, as we went ahead and pulled you for a shout-out. Every single video, some point later on, you'll see it today. You can find out what you need to type in the comment section for a chance to get a shout-out. Can't guarantee everybody. Myself and producer Trace go through all of the comments, and we try to interact with you guys as well. Some of it's me, some of it's producer Trace, and they pull the, different shout-outs. So if you want a shout-out, just sit tight to see how you can do it in tomorrow's video. But there's your shout-out, Eagles fan 130. Thank you for commenting over 200 times there, my last name. All right, so here we go. Let's just jump into it. Taking forever here. Bleacher Report on the Eagles. So I want to start with Bleacher Report's actual comments, their little write-up here on Philadelphia and their roster holes. Throw it up on your screen. Quote, so there should be plenty of excitement surrounding Philadelphia as it prepares for the upcoming season. The Eagles are set to open training camp on July 26th. It's possible that Philadelphia won't make any more major moves before camp opens, especially because it doesn't appear to have that many holes on its roster, but NFL teams are always looking for ways to improve, so it can't be ruled out. With that in mind, here are some holes the Eagles have that they may want to consider filling over the next 2 weeks. So, they say it's still good, but if you want to fill some holes, here's what you would do. Their first one is safety. This one's very strange to me. Now, safety is an interesting position because we've talked about it 8 billion times here on the channel. Here's your safety depth chart, right? You have 3 guys battling it out for 2 spots because I don't know if we even can consider Kayvon Wallace in the battle anymore. Maybe it's 4 for 2 spots, but very clearly it is Harris, Tart, and Marcus Epps. Those are your 3 big safeties currently on the roster, and the signing of Jaquiski Tart, to me, closed the door on ever going out and getting another safety to fill that hole because he was kind of the other option, the veteran option if Marcus Epps went ahead and didn't perform like we are hoping he actually does. I'm expecting Anthony Harris and Marcus Epps to be the 2 starters. However, as naturally Bleacher Report does, they went ahead and gave you a trade option, and that trade option is Jesse Bates. Now, what a shocker here. We talked about Jesse Bates, again, 8.45.92 billion times here on the channel, and Philadelphia hasn't traded for Jesse Bates. I was reading, though, that Bates is, I think he has to sign his contract by July 15th. I could be wrong on that. I know there's a July 15th deadline for Bates and the Bengals, which is right now 3 days away. So if something were to happen, probably sooner rather than later, or else maybe he starts getting fined or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. It was a little confusing when I was looking it up. But Bates, again, still technically a possibility, but I've said before, I just don't see it happening anymore. I don't think Philadelphia wants to go up the draft capital to get Jesse Bates. I don't think they need Jesse Bates either. I think as it currently stands, this depth chart is fine, right? You can't have superstars at every single position, guys. Let's just be real here. But if something were to happen with Bates, I would expect it this week rather than any time later than that. The only real free agent option Bleacher Report mentioned is Landon Collins. We talked about Landon Collins over the past. I think it's very clear that if they wanted Landon Collins, they would have taken him over Tart. They took Tart over Collins, right? And Collins has had a lot more injury issues the past couple of years than Tart did. I think the health status and the ability to stay on the football field, they have a big reason why they took Tart. So the first roster hole, I guess, makes sense by Bleacher Report, but in the end, I think they kind of plugged that by signing Jaquiski Tart, and I don't see them trading for Jesse Bates. So 0 for 1 right now for Bleacher Report. Okay, pin comment down below. Let's get this party started. What's the biggest weakness on the Eagles? I've said safety, I mean, literally every single week here for the past 8 weeks on the channel, but am I wrong? Is there a different weakness on the Eagles? Let me know who that is or what position that is down below in the pin comment right now. The next hole I found was interesting for Bleacher Report, one I didn't expect, tight end. And you go, okay, does tight end, you actually have a hole there at tight end? I guess it's backup tight end or number 2 tight end because obviously Dallas Goedert is your number 1. But right now, as you look at it, you got Grant Calcaterra, you have J.J. Whiteside, you have Tyree Jackson, and I guess Bleacher Report is looking at Tyree Jackson and Whiteside specifically and saying these guys aren't going to make the roster. Now, possibly not. I think Tyree Jackson and Whiteside both have a chance. I really hope Whiteside does make the roster. That way you don't fully waste that draft pick, and he maybe could blossom into a good tight end. I don't know, but I get kind of the thought process here of, they do need an actual number 2 tight end in case Jackson and Whiteside are both no good, and Calcaterra is a little bit too young or not ready to go. You could see Calcaterra maybe being a practice squad guy. I know he was a draft pick, but a late-round draft pick, and so if you don't want to keep him on the roster or keep measure number 3, then maybe you need to go and grab a number 2. Now, trading for a tight end, there isn't a lot out there. I was looking through, possible trades. Really, there are 2 free agents that make some sense. One is Eric Ebron, who was a Pittsburgh Steeler last year, who is still relatively young. He's like 28, 29 years old. I think that the main reason why people are worried about Ebron and why he is unsigned is he had a knee injury last year, which ended his 2021 season, and so obviously worries about the health and longevity of an Eric Ebron. But if you really wanted someone to be a solid number 2, I wouldn't hate Eric Ebron. Another option is Jared Cook, obviously a lot older. I think he belonged with the Saints and Drew Brees. I think the age there is the real factor. I'd rather have Whiteside or Tyree Jackson than Jared Cook just from an age perspective. But I guess the thought process here from Bleacher Report is, well, if these guys aren't good, you just have Dallas Goedert. What if he gets hurt? You need a backup. And so I think Ebron actually would make some sort of sense. Okay, quick shout out again to Robert Warwick. Say his last name? Warwick, I think. His quarterback was Ron Jaworski whenever he became an Eagles fan. So many, many years ago. We said that yesterday we had to get a shout out. So shout out there to Robert for letting us know his quarterback when he was growing up. Okay, before we go and get into their final position group that has a roster hole that needs to be fixed, another weird one on defense. First, you gotta make sure you turn on YouTube notifications. We mentioned our subscriber count earlier in the video. A lot of you guys don't have your notifications turned on either. To do that, very simple. Go to settings in the app. Then you're just going to scroll down and tap YouTube, then tap notifications, then tap allow notifications. It's that simple. That way you can allow all the notifications that we do here on the channel. A lot of fun interactive stuff, and plus you want to be notified when we drop the latest videos, and so why not go ahead and follow these simple 4 steps to go ahead and turn on all of your notifications. Again, settings app, tap the YouTube, settings in the app, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and allow notifications. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the final one here, according to Bleacher Report, the final hole. That's cornerback, and this is post James Bradbury, and I went, really? Like, look at the cornerback depth chart. Okay, I see a 1, we got Darius Slay. Okay, I see a 1B, we got James Bradbury. I see a slot guy, Devontae Maddox, and I see a backup cornerback in Zach McPherson. Like, are we ignoring the fact that Zach McPherson actually is really, or was, going to be the starter until James Bradbury was signed in? I mean, they felt pretty confident in him, or at least they did until they signed Bradbury, but he's still young and up and coming. But I'd be fine with him filling in for a game or 2 if, heaven forbid, Darius Slay or James Bradbury were to have a minor injury. And yet, Bleacher Report didn't really offer a lot of options to fill that hole. I mean, look at the best remaining 4 free agent cornerbacks. It's very, very bleak. Like, look at this. So you have Joe Hayden, who's 33 years old. No thanks. You have Xavier Rhodes. I would have loved him 4 years ago, but 32 years old. AJ Bouye, a lot of injuries, 30 years old. Jackrabbit Jenkins, he's still a free agent, apparently 33 years old. I mean, again, I get it's the offseason and Bleacher Report is trying to find us some articles to look at here, but I don't think these are holes at all, and I have no need for a Joe Hayden when I have young Zach McPherson, who's hopefully going to grow and blossom into a future starter maybe in 2023 or 2024. Who leads the Eagles in interceptions in 2022? I hope it's Darius Slay, but I do think there's a very real case to go ahead and say James Bradbury, because people will throw away from Slay and throw towards Bradbury, and so more opportunities, more options to go ahead and possibly get an interception, and so let me know what you guys think, who gets the most interceptions. Hopefully someone gets more than 4. I would like to see one Eagle corner or safety get a bunch of picks. Not a good interception team the past couple of years. Hopefully that changed this season. Okay, so let's just wrap this up. Again, I don't want to, poo-poo on Bleacher Report. I get it. It's July 12th. There is not a lot going on in the National Football League. They're not signing some groundbreaking free agent or, some NFL draft news we got to get you to. But we're 2 weeks away from actual news. I'm telling you, when training camp starts, we're going to be so crazy on news and rumors. It's going to be so much fun here on the channel. So I get why they're doing this, right? Got to write an article about the Eagles. Got to write about some roster holes. Give me 3 roster holes. Safety and cornerback, right? They got to make some stuff up. But in reality, I don't see any of these places being major roster holes. And I don't see any Eagles signing anybody unless you have an injury, which would happen after training camp started versus before training camp started, hence why this article was written. I get the safety part, and I would be fine with Jesse Bates. I want to make it very, very clear. Same thing I said with A.J. Brown. I said Philadelphia would not trade for A.J. Brown. I never said I wouldn't want A.J. Brown if they did. Same goes for Bates here. I don't think they will. I'd be very shocked if they did, but I'd be happy if they did. I would love Jesse Bates on this roster, but the odds of it happening are slim to none, and so I got to be honest with you guys, because I always try to be. I'm not going to, get your hopes up saying, oh my gosh, maybe Bates tomorrow. It'll be like, probably not Bates. If it does happen, though, bet your bottom dollar we'll cover it here on the channel. All right, there you go. There's the latest Eagles news and rumors. Going to do some interesting and fun stuff tomorrow on the show. I saw a report that Jalen Hurts is looking bad in training camp. We're going to dispute that tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe, be a part of that video as well. Future mailbag videos and the like are coming up over the next couple of days and weeks. For producer Trace, great job building out this show for us today. I'm Thomas Motz, signing off for the rest of your day.